Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial for 26.1 MultiLoader. In this tutorial we're going to go ahead and make our entity tameable and also able to sit and unsit. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to want to go ahead and do is, instead of extending animal here, we're going to want to go ahead and extend tameable animal. The reason we do this is because if you come into this class, you'll see that it most importantly implements ownable entity here, which has some methods we use to get the owner, which just saves us a bunch of time. And also you'll see that this class has a bunch of different things that we can use in taming our entity. So for example, we have things like sitting poses, we have methods like set tamed and is tame, and we have all of these other things that you see that it goes ahead and can use. You can also see that it does extend the animal class that we previously had. Now, if you have an entity that is not an animal that you want to be able to be tamed, then you'll basically have to implement ownable entity and re-implement all of this other stuff yourself. That is just unfortunately how that works. So now that you have gone ahead and done that, we probably want to modify some things we already have in here. So I'm actually going to go and modify, first of all, get breed offspring and return null. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I actually don't want my entity to be breedable. Likewise, I'm also going to return false in is food. Now this is food method will actually be used to go ahead and it'll be used first of all to breed your entity if you had a breed goal, which I actually didn't have previously anyways, which is why I couldn't breed it. This will also be used to heal your entity. Now I don't want that either, and so that's why I'm just going to go ahead and return false in there, because I'm not going to be using this method whatsoever. Now once you've done all of that, we want to now modify some of our goals, and the reason is because we need to use some of the tameable specific goals now that we are using a tameable animal. So one that's a good one to start with is this panic goal. Now this is fine. However, we want to actually use a tameable animal panic goal, which means it will only panic from certain things rather than from anything. So what we can do is, instead of making a new panic goal, we can make a new tameable animal panic goal. And you see this has some different parameters. So first of all, we get rid of this parameter, and the speed can just stay in there. So that will be the first parameter. And then the second parameter is actually the damage type tag. So we're going to use damage type tags, and these are all of the different ones you can choose in vanilla. The one that most mobs use and the one that we're going to use is panic environmental causes, which means that only environmental causes will make it panic. And I'm also going to modify the priority here to be 1 instead of 3, because we're going to add some more goals in a second. In fact, I take that back. Let's set it back to 3, because I think we have some space in here to add our new goals anyways, so it should be fine. Then we're going to add a goal that makes the entity sit. So when the entity is ordered to sit, this goal will actually make the entity sit. So if you want your entity to be able to sit, then you need to add this goal. So we can use this .goal selector .add goal, and we're going to say this is a priority of 4, and then we're going to say a new sit when ordered goal, and this is just going to take in this as the entity. The next goal we want to add is the follow owner goal. So we can use this .goal selector .add goal, and we'll say 5, and then we can use a new follow owner goal, and we can pass in this. Then we can pass in the speed modifier, so I'm just going to say 1.0, and then the start and stop distance, I'm just going to put 10 and 2. Now there are some other goals you can add in here as well. For example, if you want the entity to attack the owner's target, you can do a new owner hurt target's goal, and you can also use an owner hurt by target goal as well, which would allow you to attack the target that your owner is attacking. Now we're not actually going going to add those goals. Instead, we are going to start just handling the taming. So we're going to override the method mobInteract, and in here what we're going to want to go ahead and do is first of all get the item that's in the player's hand, since we're going to want to know, is this going to be our tame item or not. So let's grab the item stack, and this will be the item stack, and that'll be equal to player.getItem in hand, and we'll just pass in the hand. Want to check if we are on the server side, since we don't want the player to be able to tame on the client side, because that would allow for lots of different cheats, and so we want to make sure this is only a server-sided action. And then we can say if the entity is not already tamed, so we're going to say if not is tame, which means that if the entity is not tamed and the item is our taming item, so we're going to say item.is, and we can pass in whatever item we want our taming item to be. Now I'm going to use mod items.example food, which may not exist when you're watching this tutorial, but I've already recorded this tutorial in advance, so I have this item already, but obviously this would be whatever items you have in your mod. You're not going to have an example food because you're not making an example mod, so just add whatever item you want to be your taming item in here. And then we also want to check that it's not a baby, and that's just because generally you don't want to be able to tame babies. Now if you do want that, then obviously don't add this check, but I don't want that, so I am just going to not have that. The next thing we want to do is we want to decrement the size of this stack by 1, only if we're not in creative though. And the way we do this is we say item stack dot consume. We can give it an amount we want to consume it by, so I'm going to say 1, and then we need to pass in the player, which is basically what it will use to check if the player is in creative or not. Next we want to call the tame method, so we're going to call tame, and we're going to pass in the player, which is going to be the owner. Then what we want to do is we want to stop the navigation, so we want to do this .navigation.stop, which just means that once you have tamed the entity, it will stop navigating. So it'll stop doing its pathfinding, it will stop looking at targets, stop attacking targets, all of those things. It will just stop doing that. Then what we want to do is we want to set the target directly to null, which just means that if it has any target, it will no longer have that target. Then what we want to do is we want to do set ordered to sit, and we just want to set that equal to true, and that just means that it will start sitting once you tame your entity, which is just like the general convention. The next thing you want to do is you want to broadcast an event to the world, which will just say that the taming has succeeded, and generally this will be used to spawn in the particles. So we're going to say level, and then we're going to broadcast entity event. First of all, we're going to pass in the entity, which is this, and then we need to pass in the event. Now we're going to use entity event dot taming succeeded. Then finally, we just want to return interaction result dot success. Now then we want to have an else if, and we're going to check if the entity already is tamed. So else if is tame, and here we basically want to toggle the sitting state. So if we right click it when it's sitting, then we want to make it not sitting. If we right click it when it's not sitting, we want to make it sitting. So first of all, what we're going to do in here is we're going to use the super method to see if we actually want to proceed, since basically here the super will have priority over making the entity sit or not. So what we can do is we can see interaction result is equal to super.mobInteract, and then we can just pass in the player and the hand, and if the result consumes the action, and we actually want to negate that check, so we want to see if the result does not consume the action, or in fact we can do it this way around. So we can say if the result consumes the action, or the entity is not owned by the player, so is owned by player, then we just want to return result, which just means that if the super result already has consumed this interaction, or the player that is interacting with this entity is not the owner of this entity, then we're just going to return whatever the super says about this interaction. Now after that, we can go ahead and say set ordered to sit, And basically we want to set this to the inverse of what it already is. So we're going to set this to not is ordered to sit, which just means that it will toggle that. Then another thing that's good to do is just to set this.jumping equal to false, which just makes sure that it stops jumping if it is, and also sets this.navigation .stop, which stops the navigation, and we want to do set target to null as well, just to make sure that it doesn't have a target. And then finally we just want to return interaction result .success. And then finally we have one last return we need to do, which is at the very end if this if falls through, or is if this if else also falls through. Then we want to come down here and we want to go ahead and do some checks to define what happened in this interaction. So for example, if the entity was owned by the player, or the entity is tamed, or the entity is our tame item, then we can effectively deduce that the interaction result we use will be consume. In the case that none of those are true, we know that the interaction probably should just be passed on to the next consumer of this interaction. So the way that we do this is we can just say return is owned by, and pass in the player, or it's tamed, or the item stack is our tame item, which is mod item, so example food.get. Then what we want to do is just return interaction result .consume, or we want to return interaction result .pass. And that is basically it. Now I will show you one last thing that you can do here, and that is to override the apply taming side effects method. And this method is just used so that when you have tamed your entity, there may be side effects you want to have, and this is basically where you can do those side effects. So for example, you may want to spawn another entity, you may want to drop an item on the ground, you may want to cause some big level event, right? You could do basically anything in here. So I'm just going to show you a very basic example of what we can do, and that is just to spawn a pig once you've tamed our entity. So all we're going to say is if not level dot is client side, which just means that if we are server side, then we can just do level dot add fresh entity, and you can add in your pig entity. Now that is one way to spawn the entity. The actual best way and the recommended way to spawn an entity is to use entity type .pig, and then we can just use spawn, and you'll see here we need to use a server level, so we just need to cast our level to server level. Then it wants the pos, which is just going to be lock position, and then finally it wants the entity spawn reason. So we can see here entity spawn reason, and we can decide whatever our spawn reason is best to be. I'm just going to use spawn item use, since I think that's probably the most accurate. Okay, so once that is all done, we can now go ahead and actually run the client. So let's run Fabric, and let's also run NeoForge, and we should be able to see in the game that this works. All right, so here we are inside of the game. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to summon our example entity, and you'll see that if we right click that, it spawns a pig. There you go. And if we right click the entity again, you'll see that it should now start following us because it started off sitting. There you go, it teleported. It should also follow us normally as well. Yep, there you go. And if we right click again, then you see that that is sitting again. Now, see, we can't tell that it's sitting because we don't have any kind of animation or anything like that, but it is sitting. You'll just have to trust me. I mean, it's not following me, so that is kind of the only way that we can tell right now. Let's also go ahead and try this in Fabric, and if we do that, you see it spawns a pig, and also it's sitting. If we right click again, it's following me, and if I right click again, you'll see that it is now sitting. So yeah, that is it for this tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please do be sure to give it a like and subscribe. If you have any problems, feel free to join the Discord linked in the description down below. In the next tutorial, we're going to go ahead and add in some animations so we can see our entity actually sitting, and we'll also have an idle animation and a walking animation as well, and we're going to add some more animations in future tutorials as well. So yeah, I will see you all then. Goodbye.